Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. It is Ryan, Movies with Ryan. Got a different type of video for you, finally. My top 25 Asian films that I enjoy. Now this video was inspired by another YouTuber, Muckman Movies, Jamie. He did a video recently of his favorite Asian films, top 25. Links all will be down below for his YouTube, his Instagram, for that video. Please check him out. Please subscribe. Please watch his videos. Give him a like. And in fact, this Sunday, on the Sunday sit down on my channel, August 17th, make sure I got that date right, at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 GMT time, Jamie's actually going to be on my channel. He's going to join me, and we're going to talk a little bit about some of our favorite British films, American films, and Asian films, and have a little sit down and learn a little bit more about Jamie. So check that out as well. So we're going to go ahead and get into this. And the reason we want to do this is because of my love of Asian films. I think that was a bad transition. But anyway, what I like about Asian films, they're not Hollywooded up. Plus, you got martial arts in there too. But as far as the non-Hollywood stuff, you look at their thrillers and their crime stuff and all that, and their violence and their gore, and even with their martial arts, they don't hold back. It's real. There's not a whole lot of cuts. It's in your face. And you know, American movies, we expect those happy endings. In Asian cinema, you don't always get those happy endings. A person's going to die, they're going to die. There's no coming back from that. It's a crazy world to watch. I suggest checking some of these movies out if you've not ever watched Asian cinema. If you love Asian cinema and you haven't seen some of these, please do seek them out. But we're going to get started. Stay tuned. Now, this list was difficult for me to do. I have a large collection of Asian cinema. If you've watched me at any amount of time, if you've seen my collection videos, you've seen my unboxings, I'm constantly buying Asian cinema. I initially started this list off with like 43 or 44 titles, and I had to narrow it down to 25. And I'll be honest, it was a little hard. I got to get my list up here a little bit. I've got my list over here. I've got the physical media over here, but I had to write down the directors because I didn't want to mess these up. And I'm going to mess up some names. I'm going to tell you that right now. Starting off at 25. This classic brought Jet Li to America. This is 6 movies total. The first 3 were directed by Park Soo, which is a prolific Asian director, has spanned many decades. The 4th one was directed by Bien Yin, which is a name you should know in martial arts. We go back to Park Soo for one more, and then the last movie in this collection was done by Sammo Hung. But Jet Li's Once Upon a Time in China and America for the last movie. This introduced America to Jet Li. Jet Li is easily in the top 3 martial artists for me. He is very dynamic. These movies are action-packed. It tells a story. And forgive me, I don't remember the gentleman's name. This is on the Criterion Collection. This has all 5 Once Upon a Time in China movies, and it also has the 6th movie, Once Upon a Time in China and America. I highly recommend this set. For my number 25, we're going with Once Upon a Time in America. China and America. Anyway, 24. Park Chan-wook. That name's going to come up a couple more times in this list. He's probably one of my favorite directors directing out of Asia. And this movie caught me off guard. I bought it, set it offside, didn't watch it. Then when I finally did watch it, twists, turns, I was confused in a good way. And I didn't know exactly where it was going. I actually thought it was going a completely different way. But this is like a court drama, only not in the court. And that is JSA, or Joint Security Area. Now, this is about the border between North and South Korea. And you've got 2 opposing armies that basically see each other every day, but don't interact. And then they kind of do interact, and the story gets wild after that. I highly recommend JSA. This is the Arrow version. I think that's the only way you can pick it up in the US, in America, is through Arrow. But JSA, highly recommend it. That's number 24. Number 23, Nobuhiko Obayashi. This is one of my favorite movies. In fact, I've got a poster behind me of it. This is, if you want to be on an acid trip and not take acid, you want to watch House, or Hasu, as it is said in Japan. This movie is about a bunch of girls that go to their auntie's house, and the house is haunted, and a bunch of stuff happens. And it is a crazy psychedelic trip of the 70s, 1977. You want a weird time, you want to watch something interesting, and something that you'll find little things every time you watch it, I highly recommend House. So coming at number 23, House. Hasu. Number 22. This, as a young child, my first introduction to martial arts was The Karate Kid. My first introduction to Asian martial arts was Jackie Chan and this movie. I highly recommend this movie collection. And again, number 22, directed by Jackie Chan, the first two, and the third one is by Stanley Tong. We're going to go with Police Story. The stunts and the action in these movies is fantastic. Jackie Chan is at the top of his game. First time I ever seen Police Story, I remember watching it on TV. I was like, what is this craziness? Love this. Part 2 is great. Part 3 is probably the best of them, which is Super Cop, and it introduces Michelle Yeoh. I believe that's who's in there. Yes, Michelle Yeoh. I don't know why I forgot her name. Police Story, number 22. The whole trilogy is great. But this was my introduction to Jackie Chan, and this is what's made Jackie Chan probably one of my favorite martial artists forever. Number 21, we're going to get a little weird. People have seen this, have been kind of disgusted by it. They say it's a one-time watch. I love this movie. It's by one of my favorite, just weird, eccentric directors. This man has over 120 directing credits under his belt, but it's Takashi Miike, and that is Audition. If you've never seen Audition, watch it. Be prepared. It's a little weird. There may be some cutting off of stuff, if you know what I mean. This is about a man. His nephew is helping him basically get back into the dating game, so they create a dating thing, and they bring in a bunch of different girls. Well, he ends up falling in love with this girl. And yeah, I will say it gets weird quick. This is a quick watch. It's under 2 hours, I believe. Highly recommend Audition. That's coming in at number 21. Number 20, we're going to go back to Jet Li. This is probably arguably one of the most beautiful movies put to film color-wise. This movie is a dream within a dream. It's separated into 4 chapters. Each chapter has its own color palette, and it's amazing to look at. It also has Donnie Yen and a few other characters in there. It's got the young girl from Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. I don't remember the name off of it. Number 20, we're going to go with Jet Li's Hero. And it's by Yimou Zhang. Almost forgot the director's name. This has got, again, some of the most beautiful photography, cinematography, set design, color palette ever put to film. And the action in this is great. You finally get to see Donnie Yen and Jet Li go at it, even though they really don't actually go at it. Watch this film. It's beautiful. Number 20, Hero. Number 19, a newer movie. I forget when this came out. Of course, I can't read the back of it. It's came out recently, but it's Park Chan-wook. Again, I told you, you will need, you'll hear that name a few times. Decision to Leave. There we go. This movie is hauntingly beautiful. It's about relationships. A guy and a girl are young kids. They grow up together. They secretly do admire each other, but they never do anything. She moves to the States, and he finally gets the best of him, and he decides to go to the States for a very, very short window to try to find her and rekindle things and let her know how he feels. And the ending of this movie is heartbreaking. But Decision to Leave is my number 19 movie from Park Chan-wook. Great director, great movie. Highly recommend that. Next, we're going to get in some more martial arts. Comedy martial arts, following Jackie Chan's footsteps. This is by Stephen Chow. Number 18, Kung Fu Hustle. This movie is a riot. Stephen Chow has a very good comedic timing with his martial arts, and he's a fantastic martial artist on top of that. Basically, it's kind of two stories folded into one. It's about this little community headed by this madam and this man that run it. This gang comes in, the Axe Gang. They want to kind of take it over, and three heroes come out of the woodwork. Former martial artists, still martial artists, but they were martial artists in their prime. This movie's got great kicks, great punches, a great sense of humor. I highly recommend Stephen Chow's Kung Fu Hustle. So that is my number 18. 17, Bong Joon-ho. He's got a lot of great movies. This movie, the first time I ever seen it, it was a thinker. Social, political stuff, just very in your face about family dynamics and that. Best movie winner, I think the very first foreign movie winner in the U.S., Parasite. Can't beat this movie. If you've never seen Parasite, I highly recommend it. Shows a great dynamic versus rich versus poor, need versus want, all that good stuff. And it's just a freakishly good-looking movie. But Parasite, that is my number 17. Horror. I'm not much of a horror guy, but there's something about Asian horror that really changes the way I look at it. It's different. It gets in the feels a little bit. It's not so much gore and all that all the time. There's a lot of psychological horror. Coming at number 16, Na Hong Jin. Be the first time, won't be the last time you hear that name. We're going to go with The Wailing. This guy moves into a town. Things start getting weird. People start getting sick. They can't figure out what's going on. They basically conclude it's a demonic force. This movie's got some funny parts. It's got some scary parts. This has got some psychological parts. And I will say, it is shot beautifully. If you've never seen The Wailing, I highly recommend it. It does have a 4K that came out a couple years ago. This is I forget which one this is. Plain Archive. Steelbook. We'll show the steelbook off. Beautiful steelbook. And then it's got a wraparound. But I highly recommend this movie. If you want to see a psychological horror type movie that'll keep you kind of guessing until the end, The Wailing. That comes in at number 16. Number 15. This has one of my favorite martial arts weapons fight in a movie. I think it is just 100% the best pure weapons display in a martial arts movie. Ang Lee, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, with Chow Yun-fat, Michelle Yeoh, and Zhang Yiji. That's the lady that was in that other movie that I couldn't remember. Awesome movie. It's beautiful. The fighting in this is awesome. The fight scene I'm talking about is between Michelle Yeoh and Zhang. They go toe-to-toe with each other, and Michelle Yeoh shows proficiency with several different weapon sets, and blew me away. This also kind of put Wushu on the big screen, even though it had been around for a while. Love this movie. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. That's my number 15. Number 14 is probably my favorite Jackie Chan movie. I love a lot of Jackie Chan movies. I have a lot of his movies. I don't have his complete collection, but I've got a lot of them. This takes it back to his early movie collection, and this has the Dragon Brothers in it. Sammo Hung, Jackie Chan, and Yin Biao. You heard that name earlier. He was a director on... No, that's a different guy. Take that back. Anyway, Sammo Hung, Jackie Chan, and Yin came up in the same opera school where they learned it was kind of, it's a Chinese thing. They learn stuff, you know, Chinese school of acting and all that. But these three came together for this movie. That's Dragons Forever. And let me see who, Sammo Hung actually directed this. Sammo Hung is also a director, and he's also a stunt coordinator along with Jackie Chan. And they put in work in this. It's a comedic movie. The fight scenes in these are choreographed spectacularly. You actually get all three of them fighting each other at once, and it's just tremendous. You never see the same fight twice. Highly recommend Dragons Forever. Again, it's my favorite Jackie Chan movie. I just noticed the steelbook is backwards in this. Voodoo. Cool steelbook. Highly recommend Dragons Forever. That's why it is my number 14. Number 13. We're going back to Takashi Miike. I don't have Seven Samurai on this list. Even though Akira Kurosawa was one of my favorite old-time Japanese directors, I love Seven Samurai. It doesn't have a whole lot of rewatchability for me. It's a very long movie, but I respect what it did and what came after it and other movies that took from it. If I want to watch a samurai movie, again, Takashi Miike kills it with 13 Assassins. This is a story about a warlord that's going to come to a city, a little town, and basically ravage it for everything. And a guy gets hired and to stop it, and he puts together 12 other of the most badass samurai that he can find. This movie, I think, is about 2 hours long. There's good setup in the beginning of it, but once this movie kicks off with the main battle scene, it just is non-stop. The fights in this is awesome. The sword play in this is awesome. The set design is awesome. Highly recommend 13 Assassins, coming in at my number 13. All right. 1989, 1990, 91, somewhere around in there, 92. I don't quite remember. I watched a little bootleg VHS. Somebody recorded something for me, gave it to me. It was a John Woo movie. It's coming a little bit later in the stack. But I seeked out John Woo. The next movie I watched of his is this movie. So coming in at number 12, John Woo's The Killer with Chow Yun-fat. The Killer is probably the epitome of just John Woo. Chow Yun-fat is awesome in this. The storyline is awesome in this. The action is awesome. It's peak John Woo doveness, if you know what I mean. But The Killer really opened me up to a new director. Again, John Woo. Well, I shouldn't say it opened me up to. The other movie did. But this one really cemented John Woo as a director for me to watch. I went back and watched some of his earlier stuff too. Great stuff. And then he was brought over to America, and he's done a lot of American stuff. Mission Impossible 2, among other things. But The Killer has to be in the list, and that's why it's coming in at number 12. I did say 12 the first time, I hope so. For being a great movie and one of my favorites. Great rewatchability on there. Number 11. I'll tell you right now, from 11 to 1, from 11 to 6, I will say, was very, very hard. There is a lot of great movies, and it was hard to do these. But this first one is by Na Hong Jin. I already said his name earlier. He did The Wailing. He did another movie, and it's an awesome movie. And we're going to go with The Chaser. Now, this is about kind of a sad cop, a retired cop. He's down on his luck. He runs a prostitution ring. One of his girls go missing. So he starts to play this cat and mouse game with this killer. And this movie, once it gets going, it is nonstop. I highly recommend The Chaser. If you like cat and mouse crime thrillers, a little bit of gore thrown in there, highly recommend The Chaser. But this is coming at number 11. This is the Umbrella box set. I think they have a standard edition. This is probably out of print. Highly recommend The Chaser. A lot of people don't know about this. It was stuck on DVD for a very long time. Well, it's coming at number 11, The Chaser. Number 10. I owned this movie for a while, and I didn't watch it. And I watched another movie, and it had the lead character in this. That movie is Train to Busan. I love Train to Busan. It's a great zombie movie. It's also a great family movie, family dynamic movie. You really feel for the family in that movie. It did not make my list. I know. You guys are probably already yelling at me for Seven Samurai. Train to Busan didn't make my list. You can hate me. I don't care. But this movie stars Don Lee. And this movie is brutal. We're going to talk about the gangster, the cop, the devil. This was directed by Lee Wan-tae. Basically, Don Lee is this gangster that is on the edge, and there's this cop that's kind of trying to get him, trying to find a reason to arrest him, and the devil comes into play. There's a serial killer. Serial killer picks the wrong guy, being the gangster, and then the cop and the gangster have to work together to find the devil. And this movie is another one of those cat and mouse games. It's a little gory, it's a little brutal, but it is so good. If you've never seen The Gangster, The Cop, The Devil, I highly, highly recommend it. Check it out. That's why it's coming in at number 10. Number 9, Jackie Chan. I said Dragons Forever was my favorite. It is, but it's in direct competition with this next 2 movies. You're actually going to get 2 for out of this. The first movie was directed by Yuen Wu Ping, which is a tremendous martial artist from the 70s. Check him out. Great guy. And the second one is actually directed by Jackie Chan. There is a 30-year spread or a 20-year spread between these 2 movies. We're going to talk about Drunken Master 1 and 2. The martial arts style of Drunken Master was something that was kind of flirted with in like 70s, early 80s, like martial arts movies. But Jackie Chan brought it to a whole new level. The first movie is awesome. Like, you really see a young Jackie Chan being defiant, being the drunkard, and doing the drunken martial arts. Part 2, he's more refined. He doesn't want to go back to that, but he is forced to go back and be the Drunken Master. And there's one of the best fight scenes ever put to movies is in Part 2, the Metal Iron Works fight. But Drunken Master, head to head, number 9 on my favorite martial arts, my favorite Asian films. Number 8, a movie by Hong Wan-chan. This movie, I championed this movie when I first seen it. I've recommended this movie to a lot of people. I want more people to see it. There's an American movie with this same name, not the same movie at all. I believe this movie is from 2020. So seek this out. It is a Korean movie. It is Deliver Us from Evil. A special agent goes on this last mission. They end up killing this guy that they've been targeting. He moves out of country, and then he is brought back into the fold. And once this movie kicks off with the action, it's another cat and mouse game. There's a guy he's called the Butcher. Is trying to track him down. He's trying to track down somebody else, and everything intertwines. And this is just non-stop action once it kicks off. Deliver Us from Evil. I highly recommend it. That's why it is coming in at number 8 on my list of favorite Asian movies. Number 7, we're going to get into the first of the Kim Ji-woon movies. I love Kim Ji-woon. He's done a lot of great movies. But again, this is another one of those kind of cat and mouse thriller movies. I think I gravitated more to that in my Asian cinema watching lately because it's tense. You don't know what's going to happen, and it's brutal most of the time. This stars Lee Byung-hun, which is one of my favorite actors next to Chin Moy-suk. I just said his name wrong. This guy. But that is A Bittersweet Life. There's Lee right there on the front. He is a bodyguard for a gangster. And the gangster thinks his wife is cheating on him, so he tasks him to check it out. And he says, hey, if you find it out, you need to kill them both. Well, he finds out some stuff. He kind of tells the boss, screw you. And they come after him. And they come after him hard. And this is another one of those movies. Once it starts, it does not stop until the end. And they want somebody dead in this movie, they kill them. Great watch. But Ji Woon Kim, did I just say his name right? Kim Ji Woon puts together a masterful display of movie making in this. And Lee Byung-hun is just a stone cold killer in this. So I highly recommend it. Number 7, A Bittersweet Life. Let's talk about another movie that just pops off. This is going to be number 6, Lee Jong-byum. Another setup. Special agent guy is trying to live his life in a rundown little apartment complex. This girl's mom comes up missing. People come after the girl. Well, they also come after the watcher. This guy doesn't want to have anything to do with her, but he feels a need to watch. When she comes up missing, you get the man from nowhere, and he comes out of nowhere. Once again, this movie starts and he gets on the trail. It is nonstop action. You got shootouts, you got martial arts, you got everything in this movie. The man from nowhere comes in at number 6. I highly recommend this movie. Another one of those movies a lot of people have never heard of. Highly recommend it. Got a 4K a couple years ago. Came out with a Wailing at the same time. Check it out. The Man from Nowhere coming in at number 6. Here we are, folks. Top 10 so far has been a doozy. It was hard. Kind of getting a feel for what I like. I like those gritty revenge thrillers, those hardcore action scenes, the shooting, the fighting, all that good stuff. We're going to take it right up to number 5, John Woo. The movie that got me into John Woo, got me into Chow Yun-fat, Hard Boiled, killer. Better movie. Better storyline, better acting, all that. Hard Boiled is just a straight kick in the nuts. This is just gritty. Chow Yun-fat is just hardcore in this. It's got one of the longest shootouts in a movie ever recorded. The hospital scene. There's behind the scenes on YouTube where you can watch how they made that. It's fantastic. But the bullets fly in this. John Woo is just, hey, let's kick it up to 11. Chow Yun-fat puts that 12. Guns put it at 13. I highly recommend. My number 5 pick for my top Asian films, Hard Boiled. If you haven't watched it, check it out. And guess what? Arrow just received the rights from the Asian group that had all these Asian movies just tucked back. They couldn't go hold them. We should be getting a good, clean, original copy of The Killer and Hard Boiled sometime soon, because these Dragon Dynasties, they're a little bastardized. Can't wait. Number 4. This is a recent movie. 2020, I believe? 2021. This is my favorite movie of 2021. This is by Ryusuke Hamaguchi. This movie's 3 hour long, but I can tell you it felt like an hour and a half long movie. It flows so well. It is written so well. And it just blew me away. And that is Drive My Car. Now, it's about a guy that does this play, Vanya, Uncle Vanya. And he does it in his town. Well, this guy hires him to come up to this other town to hire people to put on the play. And while he's there, he's got this classic car. They hire a chauffeur for him to drive his car around. He's very, very hesitant about it. But this story looks at a man's life, things that happen in it. It looks at Japanese life and how they kind of seclude themselves sometimes. The conversations between him and the driver are fantastic in this. The buildup of the play is awesome. And another thing that's great about this, let me see if I can find it on here. There's like 9 different languages in this. There's like Japanese, Cantonese, Chinese, sign language, English, all sorts of stuff. Because the people that are pulling together to put together this play are from all walks of different life, different countries, and all that stuff. Drive My Car comes in at number 4. Highly recommend this. I will champion this movie until the day I die. Please watch it. Number 3. You're going to hear this name again, Park Chan-wook. The first time I watched this movie, I was haunted by it. It's kind of a rough watch, especially if you know of this movie and you've never seen it, but you've heard about it. You've probably already kind of had the plot spoiled for you. But this has one of the best fight scenes in it. But the overall arc of the main character, from depravity to insanity, is just fantastic. But Park Chan-wook's Old Boy is my number 3 pick. I love this. This is from Neon Special Edition. But if you look, OLDBOY is spelled out in the octopus's name, or squid, actually. Squid actually has significance in this movie, if you've ever seen it, or if you haven't seen it. There is something to do with squids in here. But Choi Min-sik, I got his name right that time, this guy, does a fantastic job in here. Basically, he is just stolen away in the middle of the night. He's left in this hotel room for 20, 25 years, something like that. He's fed every day. He doesn't know what's going on. And one day he's just released. And he is determined to find out who and why. And this is just one of those, again, gritty, brutal takes on determination of what a man will go through to find the truth. Old Boy, my number 3. Number 2, my only Akira Kurosawa movie on here, Akiru. I can't say enough about this movie. Seven Samurai, Throne of Blood, Hidden Fortress, Ramashan, stuff like those movies are great. But this movie just hit me right. I was in the medical field for 15 years. I've dealt a lot with life and death and all that. And when I watched this movie, it just really connected with me. It's basically about a guy that works for the water treatment in his company, the water treatment company in his city. And he finds out he has cancer and he just walks away. And he's kind of guided by this woman to the interns. And the actual cover of this movie is the final shot in the movie. But it really leaves it up to interpretation of your own thoughts. But it really deals with life and death. And when you're facing a situation, what would you do? What do you want to do? And what was done? Akiru from Akira Kurosawa is my number 2 favorite Asian film. Number 1, the poster's behind me. I love this movie. It's brutal. It's real. It's scary. It's menacing. It's gritty. Hardcore. And this is the reason I love Korean films. Asian films, they're just nonstop. I Saw the Devil. Lee Byung-hun and Choi Min-sik go head to head in here. There's the opening part of this. I've seen this movie I don't know how many times now. I still jump. It still scares me even though I know it's coming. Lee Byung-hun is a cop. His wife disappears and they've been investigating a murder. Not his wife, his girlfriend, fiance. And turns out it's Choi Min-sik. And needless to say, these two cat and mouse it hardcore in this movie. It's brutal. It's bloody. It's sadistic at some points, but I highly recommend I Saw the Devil. It is my number 1 Asian film of all time. If you haven't seen it, please watch it. This movie's already earned this movie. This video is already long enough. 32 minutes so far on this part of it. That's been my top 25 Asian films that I love. And people are going to yell at me for leaving some stuff out. I've watched a lot of films. These all mean something to me. That's why they're my top 25. Drop down in the comment. What are some of your favorite Asian films? What's your top 5? Give me your top 5 in the comments. If you haven't seen some of these, please check them out. I highly recommend them. It's been Ryan. Movies with Ryan. That's been my top 25 Asian films that I love.